Multiple twisters tearing through the Midwest, destroying homes, flipping semis, heavy wind and rain hitting D.C. Now Philadelphia, New York, and Boston bracing for flash flooding as a major summer scorcher settles in coast to coast.
Breaking overnight, 4 students shot at a block party in Atlanta. This as authorities investigate a new mass shooting threat. The 15-year-old under arrest, accused of plotting an attack on his school. His mother right there when police take him into custody.
President Trump backtracks on gun control after a phone call with the NRA chief. This as he contradicts his team on the economy amid fears of a recession, attacks Democrats, and antagonizes a NATO ally. We're live at the White House. And Lori Loughlin's legal strategy. The new report, how the Full House star is planning to fight charges in the college admissions scandal, and why she's panicking behind closed doors.
Saved at sea. The incredible crash and rescue caught on camera. A pilot and his friend going down in the waters off California's coast the moment they're airlifted to safety.
And the ballroom is back. The brand new cast of Dancing with the Stars revealed right here live in Times Square. Who will tango to the top of the leaderboard and waltz their way to a mirror ball victory? We're just moments away from the big reveal only on GMA.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Can never go wrong, starting with a little Whitney Houston. Big day here in Times Square, Dancing with the Stars cast reveal.
That's right, they are here and live, and there are some big surprises this year. Athletes, actors, reality stars, and so much more. That's all coming up ahead.
We're walking around the halls this morning and we're like, is that
exactly?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all coming up. We're going to begin with those powerful summer storms. Multiple tornadoes have touched down in the Midwest. Heavy rains in D.C. now spreading across the Northeast. Ginger starts us off. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning to you, George. If it feels like we've had a lot of images the last couple days, you're right. More than 450 severe storm reports just since Monday, and they stretch all the way from Montana to South Carolina up to Maine. Severe storms drenching the nation's capital. Up to 3 inches of rain falling really fast, flooding this entrance to the D.C. metro. In Iowa, 3 confirmed tornadoes. An EF2 in Lacona slicing through homes with winds up to 135 miles per hour. Winds flipping semi-trucks along the interstate where minor injuries were reported. Ferocious 65-mile-per-hour gusts strong enough to down huge trees in Des Moines. Hammering rain blinding folks in Waterloo. And in Illinois, a brilliant shelf cloud near Hillsborough. Inside, winds high enough to throw these trampolines in central Illinois around these utility poles. So we will see more images like that, more dots on the map in the next 24 hours. And here's where I think it's going to happen. Along this front, the warm front and the cold front, really, this afternoon, a watch will be issued. That means that the ingredients are right. When you see that happen, say, okay, I'm going to be weather aware. Looking at this, we stopped it here at 7 p.m. That's when things really start to spark. So if you have a later flight along the East Coast, keep that in mind. Wilmington to Worcester, if you hear a warning, that's when you start to take action. That's when you take cover. A lot of people get concerned about those watch warning. Hopefully that helped out anywhere from Bangor to Philadelphia.
All right, weather aware. We certainly nodded our heads at that. Thank you so much, Ginger. Now to that breaking news overnight. 4 students injured in a shooting at a back-to-school block party on the steps of Atlanta University Center Library. The victims were all women ages 17 to 19. They got caught in the crossfire when a confrontation between 2 groups turned violent. The victims were taken to the hospital, and thankfully, they are all listed in stable condition. But officers are now working with witnesses and surveillance footage to find the suspects responsible. Robin?
Need to find them, but glad that everybody is going to be okay. Now to Florida and a new mass shooting threat there, this time involving a 15-year-old accused of targeting his school. Police body cam captures the moment officers handcuffed him with his mother right there. Victor Akindo has the latest from Miami. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Robin. The sheriff in Volusia County told us he decided to release the video to hammer the point home. If you make a threat like this, you will be held accountable.
Put your hands on your back.
These Florida deputies arresting a 15-year-old boy whose face has been blurred right in front of his mother for allegedly threatening to shoot up his school. In this body cam footage, you can hear police reading that threat, which they say he posted under a fake name on a video game chat platform.
I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people.
These kids say stuff like that all the time. It is a joke to them. It's a game.
His comment was reported to the FBI, police releasing the 15-year-old's mugshot, which we've blurred because he's a minor.
He's a little boy. He didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he's 15, but he's still a little boy, and he's not one of the crazy people out there doing stuff.
Okay, what he did.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be treated as though he is a terrorist or something. I mean, he's not that person.
Do you own a gun?
I have a gun, yes.
Okay, so he has hands and feet. You can grab your gun and go do something.
Sheriff Michael Chitwood telling ABC News since Parkland, they've seen an uptick in cases like these.
We've probably made about 50 to 100 arrests over the years since Parkland.
The 15-year-old's arrest came on the same day as this dramatic moment, also caught on body camera. Another arrest in the same county after Tristan Wicks allegedly texted his girlfriend his intentions to shoot as many people as he could. These cases among 5 high-profile arrests for alleged threats of mass shootings in less than a week, including James Reardon from Ohio, a self-described white supremacist who allegedly threatened to shoot up a Jewish community center, posting this disturbing video on Instagram.
There's no doubt that what occurred in Florida last weekend, Connecticut, and Ohio, without people coming forward, there would have been a mass shooting.
Volusia County Schools tells us that they worked with law enforcement to identify the threat and make sure that all students were safe. They'll hold a threat assessment meeting before they decide to let that student back to school. George?
Okay, Victor, thanks. We've seen so many new threats as America faces them. The president has bowed to the NRA on background checks for gun control. One of a scattershot series of attacks and reversals Tuesday that had aides scrambling, Democrats fuming, and antagonized a NATO ally. Our senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega tracking it all. Good morning, Cecilia.
Hey, George, good morning to you. You're right. A lot of mixed messaging here this morning. And on gun control, this is not the first time the president has caved to the NRA. You'll remember it happened in the wake of the Parkland shooting, this time after El Paso. The president said he made it very clear background checks were on the table. That is not the case this morning.
This morning, yet another reversal on background checks from President Trump.
We have very, very strong background checks right now. We're looking at different things, and I have to tell you that it is a mental problem.
And sources tell ABC News that behind the scenes, the president also made it clear to NRA Chief Wayne LaPierre that he does not support universal background checks. Flashback to 4 days after the El Paso shooting, President Trump sending a very different message.
There's a great appetite, and I mean a very strong appetite, for background checks, and I think we can bring up background checks like we've never had before.
And now, facing growing fears of an economic slowdown, this morning, more mixed messaging from the White House. In the Oval Office, the president said his administration is considering a tax cut to help American workers.
Payroll tax is something that we think about, and a lot of people would like to see that, and that very much affects the workers of our country, and we have a lot of workers.
But just hours earlier, his aides said the opposite.
Is a payroll tax cut being considered?
It's not being considered at this time.
The president has promised middle-class tax cuts in the past ahead of the midterms, only to abandon the idea after Election Day. And yet, after promoting tax cuts this time around, he also said they wouldn't be happening anytime soon.
Well, I'm not talking about doing anything at this moment.
And this morning, another controversy after the president spoke about the Muslim American congresswomen blocked from entering Israel.
Where has the Democratic Party gone? Where have they gone where they're defending these two people over the state of Israel? And I think any Jewish people that vote for a Democrat, I think it shows either a total lack of knowledge or great disloyalty.
That comment drew fierce backlash. The Anti-Defamation League saying charges of disloyalty have long been used to attack Jews and, quote, it's long overdue to stop using Jews as a political football.
So those prominent Jewish organizations and many Democratic lawmakers were quick to respond, but George, so far silence from Republican lawmakers this morning.
Yeah, silence this morning. Meantime, Cecilia, the president's been playing around with this idea of buying Greenland. Now it's gotten a little more serious. He's actually canceled a state visit to Denmark because they won't talk about selling it.
Yeah, this one is getting ugly. He was supposed to be in Denmark next month for a big visit. Overnight, though, via Twitter, the president canceled the trip. He said that the Danish prime minister, you'll remember, had publicly called the president's idea to buy Greenland absurd. President Trump there in that tweet thanked her for being so direct. And for now, this visit to a very important U.S. ally, George, is off the table.
Fighting side by side with the U.S. in Afghanistan. Cecilia, thanks very much. Let's get a response now from Congress, senior congressional correspondent Mary Bruce. And Mary, this attack on Democrats over Israel clearly trying to drive a wedge in the Democratic Party.
Yeah, George, the president is clearly trying to use religion to drive this partisan wedge, but this kind of language about disloyalty sparks a lot of very real fear. We are now seeing many Democrats coming out and slamming the president's comments, calling them anti-Semitic. And George, remember, of course, an overwhelming majority of Democratic voters traditionally vote Democrat. We saw Congresswoman Ilhan Omar responding on Twitter. She wrote, "The popular vote was #disloyal to Trump."
And Mary, on this notion now of the president considering payroll tax cuts, any sense that that's going to go anywhere on Capitol Hill?
Yeah, George, that is likely to face a real uphill battle here on the Hill. The concept of doing a payroll tax cut has been unpopular with Republicans in the past, and especially during an election year, Democrats aren't likely to want to recalibrate the Republican tax cuts. We are also seeing, of course, the president floating some other ideas like changes to the capital gains taxes to try and give investors a boost. But the president seems to think he can do that without congressional approval. That's not likely to go over well here either.
Can't happen. Okay, Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Robin?
And George, we move on now to that rescue at sea overnight. It was all caught on camera. A pilot and his friend going down in the water near San Francisco. Thankfully, both surviving. Kaylee Hartung is here with that story for us. And Kaylee, pilot was able to film it. He was the one filming all this?
He was, and another plane in the sky, a friend of his who could see everything unfolding before him. But this really is one of those things you have to see to believe. This plane on a sightseeing tour more than 3,000 feet in the sky when it lost power. What happened next? It's all caught on camera.
This is the terrifying moment a plane on a sightseeing tour of San Francisco falls out of the sky.
There she goes.
As it skips along the water, 34-year-old pilot David Lesh and his friend Kayla keep their cameras rolling.
Starting to get a little cold out here. Probably didn't have much more than maybe a minute or two from the time, I figured something was wrong until we hit the water.
The two gathering anything from the plane that will float, standing on the wing as long as they can, praying for help.
Yeah, we got a seat cushion here.
Overhead, Lesh's friend and fellow pilot, Owen Liepelt, attempting to contact emergency crews, while also keeping eyes on the two below.
At one point, I lost them. I had been circling and I couldn't see them anymore. And David called me on the phone as he was bobbing in the water, and he turned me around and he guided me right to where he was.
And then the miraculous moment the downed pilot captures, the U.S. Coast Guard arriving to save the pair below.
What was truly amazing about tonight was there was another aircraft on scene that quickly responded, contacted air traffic control, who knew to contact an airborne Coast Guard asset and get us on scene quickly.
The rescue crew airlifting the two up to safety.
For as terrible as it was, it really wasn't bad. It was really a miracle.
The two were unharmed in the crash, but of all things, they were stung by jellyfish as they were treading water, waiting for the Coast Guard to come to their rescue.
They put down their phone, they would have seen the jellyfish.
Treading water and doing a selfie and being stung by jellyfish.
Glad they're okay. Glad they're okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, now to a new study raising some concerns about e-cigarettes, finding they can temporarily harm normal blood flow in the body, even with minimal use. ABC's Gio Benitez is here with more. Gio, seems like there's a new story every morning about e-cigarettes.
We just keep talking about this. Amy, Robin, George, good morning to you. Yeah, the researchers at the University of Pennsylvania are talking about just one use of an e-cigarette, finding it reduces blood flow, and that's without nicotine. Now they want to know what this means for long-term use. Vaping. We see those e-cigarettes just about everywhere, but this morning, a new study says that just vaping once, even without nicotine or THC, can temporarily change your cardiovascular function.
I don't think there's a single study that I've reviewed that hasn't established that vaping poses a health risk. It's just a question of how much and whether it causes other harmful effects like we're describing here.
The study, published in the journal Radiology, recruited 31 healthy people in their 20s and 30s. They were all non-smokers. They each took 16 3-second puffs of e-cigarette liquid without nicotine. And what they found was that it temporarily damaged that person's blood vessels. This is the artery before the e-cigarette, and this is the artery after. After vaping, the blood flowed slowly, and in some cases, the effects lasted for minutes. The researchers are calling for more review to see if this behavior, repeated enough over time, could possibly have lasting effects down the road.
I think it's so clear that there's a short-term risk that if you extrapolate a bit, it only makes sense to think that there is a long-term risk. Certainly, decreased circulation to the heart muscle is going to result in heart damage.
And this morning, e-cigarette maker Juul says the study called for vaping that is unrealistically high in volume with limited time between puffs. And the president of the American Vaping Association says short-term changes don't necessarily say anything about long-term use. But listen, everyone agrees more research is needed here.
No question about that.
All right, Gio, thank you very much. We're going to turn now to the two-time World Cup champion showing a couple of Super Bowl champs how it's done. Take a look at this. Here we go. Take a look. That is, boom, U.S. women's soccer superstar Carly Lloyd crushing a 55-yard field goal at Philadelphia Eagles training session. And that is how it's done, people. Lloyd absolutely nailed it. The New Jersey native is a big fan of the NFL team, says she's very impressed with the squad, and I think it's fair to say they're pretty impressed with her, too. They posted on Twitter, in fact, they said, "What did you expect? She's a world champion." Pretty amazing.
Pretty good. Come on.
That's definitely respectable.
We have a very special celebration for a very special woman. Sister Jean is turning 100 years old today. The nun who became the face of Loyola Chicago's basketball team, cheering them on to that epic Final Four run in 2018. Well, she's now celebrating a century of life, and she's as sharp as ever. Her secret, she says, I eat well, I sleep well, and hopefully I pray well. And she says she gets up in the morning and she's happy. And she's got a lot to be happy about. Reportedly having 10 birthday parties. She joked her nickname should be the Party Nun. And did you see this present that she received? A giant Lego version of her. She is living her best life.
10 parties.
Hey, party
Having
night.
fun. All right.
Yeah.
We are following a lot of other stories this morning, including new developments in that vacation nightmare for a Connecticut family. The man who's heading back to the Caribbean to face manslaughter charges is now speaking out. We'll bring that to you in just a little bit.
Also, that new report about Lori Loughlin's legal strategy as she prepares to head to court to face charges in that college admission scandal. Why sources say she's, quote, panicking behind closed doors. That's ahead, but first, back to Ginger.
And I know a lot of folks say in Dallas are saying enough with the heat. You've spent more than a month, half of this month above 100 degrees for highs, and it's all because of this ridge, and it's still in place, not just from Dallas and Fort Worth, but up to St. Louis, but Memphis included in the heat advisories. It doesn't stop there. From Wilmington, Delaware, right up through Philadelphia, up to New York City, and even parts of Long Island, we're under a heat advisory. Now, those won't be records, but if you go to the Southwest, and if you're talking about Palm Springs or Yuma, Phoenix, Tucson, and even Las Vegas, you could approach, if not tie or break a record today. That is oven-like heat right there. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, the hot cities, sponsored by Liberty Mutual.
And Doug. Hour 36 of the stakeout. As soon as the homeowners arrive, we'll inform them that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, so they'll only pay for what they need. Your turn to keep watch, Limu. You wake me up if you see anything. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Another day with temperatures in the 90s. Our heat wave rolls on. It will be stormy for some of you, so stay weather alert later this afternoon. I think especially here in D.C. around 4 or 5 o'clock we could see some of those storms, but just heads up, anytime between 2 and 9 p.m. Heavy rain, high winds, and even hail not out of the question. Tomorrow, our last day of our heat wave, we could have more storms as a cold front slides through. That drops temperatures into the low 80s Friday. Lower temperatures and low humidity heading into the weekend.
So if you're anywhere from New Jersey to Arizona, maybe you just want to do this today. Parker, you got it right.
That's the way to do it.
So cute. Just keeps going, too. That's the way to stay cool. It's an idea.
That's a nice way of doing it. Hey, did you see Val, your dancing partner upstairs?
I sure did. I saw them all. This is going to be a good day.
It is, because we're going to have the reveal of the new Dancing with the Stars cast just ahead. Who's hitting the dance floor? Find out live only on GMA. We'll be right back on this Hump Day.
Isn't that what it is? We're all